My name is Nate Curry. I'm a 2019 grad, a senior, marketing management major from Dillsburg, Pennsylvania, just south of Harrisburg, PA. I'm currently doing a wide variety of activities on campus. I'm currently on the men's soccer team. I'm also the business and advertising manager for the school newspaper, The Collegian, and I'm also vice president this year for Omicron Delta Kappa, the National Service Honorary.
So what did you intern this summer, Nate? I'll be the Larry King interviewer here.
Right. I had the privilege of interning with Major League Soccer in their National Sales Center located in Blaine, Minnesota. So way up north, way a ways from the Grove City area. And I really got this internship through a family member and a networking connection, which I think is really valuable and important for a business major and just for anybody in general. So my uncle works for the Minnesota Twins. When he was growing up through his career, and through that he met the founder of the National Sales Center. His name is Brian Pfeiffer, who then sent my resume over to the director of the program now, whose name is Jeff Berryhill. And Jeff happened to be flying into Philadelphia about 2 days after we had this initial conversation. And so one thing led to another. Met Jeff at his hotel in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and was able to network with him, and within a 20-minute interview, he had offered me an informal position to be the intern for this sales training program.
Good. So I probably have 15, hold on, sorry about that, weathered out. I probably have about 15 interns a year. Some of them come to me and say, I know of this internship opportunity. Would you be my faculty sponsor for that? Other times students come in and say, I'd like to work in advertising or merchandising. How can you help me find an internship? So it's a combination of people that find their own opportunities and those that work with faculty like myself to try and find opportunities.
And I also, within the context of that, went to Dr. Powell and just talked about, throughout the course of looking for internships, about various positions within sports, because I knew that working in sports was something that I really was interested in. And so through talking about that too, he allowed me to give me some tips and pointers. So maybe not necessarily per se leading me to the internship, but a lot of valuable tidbits of information to be considering when choosing the internship. And that's been one of the biggest things that I've seen in terms of faculty oversight in terms of the internship process.
Good. We really encourage internships because increasingly they're job interviews, extended job interviews actually. If you get in and you really prove to the company that you are a person that has the skills and abilities they're looking for, a lot of people end up getting job offers. Sometimes you think you want to work in a certain industry and an internship shows you, this isn't really for me. So they're good learning opportunities at the least, and sometimes at the best case scenarios they lead to job offers. How do you put together an internship? It's really a pretty simple process. There's a form that you fill out that basically explains this is what the internship is, these are the learning objectives. You find a faculty sponsor whose expertise is in that area, and you basically complete a log that kind of logs your hours. You do a reflective paper, and you have a form filled out by your supervisor that evaluates your performance.
And so through that evaluating the performance, just wanted to give you a brief synopsis of what a day looked like for me working at the National Sales Center. The National Sales Center is a sales, kind of an entry-level sales program in which they take post-grads. They run them through the ringer, so to speak. So 2 months of very intensive sales training where you get to sell Major League Soccer tickets to prospective clients in varying demographics. So we happen to sell for the Portland Timbers in Oregon, and we would also be calling clients in Miami and in Orlando City, where they have their professional team down there. For me as an intern, wasn't necessarily a part of the program, but I was very much invested in the day-to-day operations of the sales trainees. So I would come in and I would do morning sales reports from the day before, because a lot of the sales were done through cold calling. Then I would aid in the running of morning meetings and just doing through call reviews, improv training sessions, and we would go through all of that on a daily basis. I also was in charge and given the responsibility to work on some of the recruiting. The National Sales Center has 3 sessions per year, and so I was in charge in the various recruiting on LinkedIn, Teamwork Online, looking at different resumes and being that first wave of communication for future candidates to be in the program. And then lastly, I got a chance to be involved in the sales process, where I was able to, with the training that I had gotten indirectly from the other trainees, get a chance to cold call various leads for different clubs. So specifically, I was calling for Orlando City and DC United, located in Washington, DC and Orlando, Florida, respectively. And through that, had some really great experiences. Got a chance to make my first sale, an internal revenue sale of $1,700 on the last day, actually my last phone call of the internship. And so that's just one of the many great experiences I've had there. We did Friday morning soccer as a group with all of the trainees, so 25, various athletic abilities getting a chance to play soccer together. And then probably the most amusing one, every Thursday, last 2 hours of the day, we engaged in hot yoga. So it's great team building exercise, great way to stay in shape, and just build camaraderie within the group. And so I've been really blessed to continue those relationships that I made with those post-grads who are all over the country. And many of them now have positions with MLS clubs and other semi-professional soccer teams in the sales departments.
Yeah, good. I get asked sometimes, why should I do an internship through the college? And really there's several reasons that I could list that are reasons to think about that. Even if you come up with an idea by yourself, it's really attractive to prospective employers to see an internship that's on your official transcript that has a grade assigned to it. It carries some weight to say that the school has made sure that this is a viable experience and this student performed very well in that internship. Recruiters like that. Secondly, it gives you an additional person to go to for a recommendation. In addition to Nate's boss, if he's looking for a job, I might get a call from a prospective company looking to hire Nate that says, hey, you oversaw his internship from an academic perspective, what did you think? So it gives you another person to kind of attest to your abilities. And this is a kind of a hidden bonus, but a lot of students will take up to 6 hours of internship credit. And if you do a good job on your internship, good chance of you getting a good grade, which is a 6-hour GPA booster, which is not always a bad thing. And I would say the last thing is that throughout the internship, I communicate with all of my interns. Nate and I had a couple of different discussions. Hopefully I was able to offer him a little bit of advice on how he handled some things in his job. And so you have that person who is outside the organization to help you in your experience.
I would say lastly, in regards to that comment, in doing the paper at the end of the semester, when kind of summing up my overall business experience, and internship experience, really I don't think I would have had a chance to debrief about the internship if I had not been able to do this paper, summing up and getting the internship for credit. And what it allowed me to do was really kind of look at the pros and the cons of my internship experience, looking at it from various different perspectives, looking at it from a secular perspective, since I was working in a secular environment, and as a Christian, what that looks like, and also just how that related to my faith and how I can potentially use the pros and cons and use my interactions that I had with my internship to further my relationship with Christ and further my understanding of what it means to be a Christian in a business environment. And that's something that I feel Grove does a really, really adequate job of providing, is the education of what does it mean to be a business student, what does it mean to be a business professional in a secular world as a Christian, and how can we best be ministering to people in whatever situation and whatever position we have post-college. And so had it not been for doing the internship for credit and with some discussions that I had with Dr. Powell about what that experience looked like in the midst of that, I don't think I would have been as grateful for the internship opportunity as I am right now.